The universe of Warhammer 40k is unforgiving, brutal, and horrifying, with many different intelligent species wanting you dead because they breathe the same air as you, and you're stopping them from inheriting the galaxy from what is rightfully theirs. And in terms of even humanity in 40k, they love erasing histories. Multiple alien species with their own unique cultures were erased in the flame of the Emperor's Holy Crusade, and especially just other people in the Unification Wars. But there is one that prefers to keep the history of his friends and adversaries alike alive by either collecting them, their worlds, or their artifacts. He's the overlord of the Nihilak dynasty, Trazyn the Infinite. Trazyn is the one and only overlord Pharaon, Nihilak dynasty. He's also subscribed to freelance at youtube.com. Oh my goodness, that's so nice of you. Thank you. A Pharaon is a type of Necron overlord with a particular large amount of willpower that helps resurrect and reawaken all of the Necrons asleep across the galaxy, and rising them as minions for their own nefarious goals, to hopefully for them one day rule over the galaxy. Trazyn, as an overlord, sends out his peons to pretend to be him so he can trick his adversary, get whatever dubious little prize he wants to get his succulent metal hands on. A true gaslight gatekeeping girl boss that uses misdirection and deception. He also aggressively manspreads. Look at that, you just know that bastard won't stand up for a pregnant woman. No. Trazyn isn't the biggest fan of fighting, instead wants to collect more things for his galleries on his tomb world of Solomons, in which he preserves the histories, artifacts, and events of the universe, liberating them from their inevitable death and welcoming them into eternity. Though the Necron Overlord was alive during the War in Heaven, and was a hunchback with an all-consuming need to catalog the history of the universe still. Trazyn was always hunched over, but he wasn't always a Necron. He did have a physical defect, suffering from a good bit of scoliosis. Ow. His life's work was recording and cataloging the history of the Necron race, recording impressions, and taking samples in order to add stuff to his own collection. He was then put into an easy bake oven, and then his soul was eaten and turned into a Necron. Since the Necron woke back up in the 41st millennium, Trazyn has been back to cataloging the entirety of everything he had missed. Trazyn has become to many of his opponents a cunning, intelligent metal skeleton. Trazyn isn't as bloodthirsty as his Necron brothers and sisters, and not as hellbent on expanding the Necron Empire. He instead just likes stealing people and their possessions to display them in a vault or a museum somewhere that has no real-life similarities to anything. He collects them using mind-controlling scarabs, or using things that just practically work like Pokeballs. One of Trazyn's most notorious outings in the wider universe of 40k was during Abaddon's 13th Black Crusade. Trazyn would fight against the forces of chaos for his own self-interest. After a bell rung signaling the return of chaos in the universe destroyed some of his own exhibits because of how loud it was ringing, Trazyn decided to take it personally and planned to eradicate chaos from the face of the universe. He didn't want anybody threatening his collection. With the help of a beer-gutted Adeptus Mechanicus cutie named Belisarius Call, he would use Necron pylons to eradicate the warp in the Eye of Terror near Cadia. With Trazyn and Belisarius Call both being know-it-alls, they would bicker back and forth on how to use the Necron technology. Man, that looked like that hurt. Oh, stop it. Which almost worked, until Abaddon had a gamer rage and flew the Black Fortress into Cadia, shattering it. Which is the equivalent of throwing an original Xbox controller at a Nokia phone, with both of them being irreparably destroyed, never to be seen again. With him slinging out a few Pokeballs to defend himself, he came out deploying a squad of stolen Space Marines, Dreadnoughts, Salamanders, presumed dead Inquisitor Greyfax, and a Custodian. But with such a large net loss, Trazyn was fiending for another addition to his collection, where he took the ever-short and handsome Castellan Creed. Trazyn also has a comedy duo adventure book where he meets an infinitely bitter and angry old Necron, Orokin the Diviner. They bicker back and forth and fight for a few millennia for a treasure they both want on a planet, with a few highlights being them doing the planet over and over again in multiple extinction events, and continually breaking Necron law, to the point where they have to stay next to each other and become friends for about 2 to 3 centuries, which I still need to personally read, and man, I want to read it. Besides that, Trazyn is as much of a bastard on tabletop as he is in lore. Trazyn overall is good at not dying, With him being able to take over some other Necron's body 2/3 of the time, and him being able to shrug off about half of the hits he takes, while also having some normal Necron damage reduction. He also has this cool thing where if he kills a named character in a melee combat, he creates a blast around him that can kill even Space Marine Terminators if it does its max damage. I think he's pretty cool on tabletop, but he's not a big, nice leader unit. He's just something you field while you're there, you know, if you want to. But he can apply pretty good pressure if he needs to. I talked a bunch about his collection, but I never really talked about what's in his collection. The simple answer is too much, but the notable ones are the preserved head of a notable but not well showcased ecclesiarch named Thor, several regiments of Catachan jungle fighter and guardsmen from different wars, some of the possessions that Necrons used to have when they were Necron tier, including cups, bottles, and canes, a collection of Necron tier smoking pipes, at one point Inquisitor Greyfax, an incredibly large Blood Angel from the Death Watch that is forever stuck in a position of terror, which is very rare. You usually don't see a scared Space Marine. At least one demigod-esque custodian of the Emperor. That's a bit outrageous, but yeah, alright. Lord Castellan Creed, who has been effectively killed until he's taken out of the vault. A perfect clone of Primarch Fulgrim? One without Chaos Taint? And the sample of a gene seed from the Emperor's Children? How do you even bargain with Chaos? I just don't. A Krork? A whole godly creature that can easily solo most Primarchs? How? How did he catch such a powerful creature? I'm utterly flabbergasted and perplexed. A Thunder Warrior. A Thunder Warrior. They literally all died. The Custodians killed them all. How did... I just don't get it. A whole Tyranid Hive fleet. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. And you're really close to the screen with a light shining on your face. You'll see it. Nice job getting captured, dummy. If you enjoyed the short summary and jokes, make sure to hit that subscribe button and put a like. Maybe even comment. Maybe even tell me what your little favorite part is. Maybe tell me how much you like me. And a little smiley face at the end. Helps the channel out, makes me happy. Just, if you like me. But yeah, nice job getting captured, dummy. I'll see you next video.